got off the aeroplane for the last time, I thought I'd never ever want to sit on another aeroplane. You know, despite the fact that the ticket that we got, the management got, was a first class ticket, so it was amazingly comfortable. I came back with several bags, you know, flannels and
oh yes, I know that. Yes, I've done that myself.
and wet wipes. But that was I mean, it was exhausting, it was interesting. But for me, it was, and that's one of the things that I really teach artists, is how to manage their schedules, to really work with their management and their tour managers, to just really double check that they are factoring in enough time for them to actually kind of just realize where they are, and maybe just get to see some of the sights, or because for me it all became a very big blur.
Absolutely.
I'm sure any of your listeners who've experienced that will echo the same.
Absolutely. Oh, I know that this is going to resonate with so many people around the world, because you are telling people, especially those who haven't experienced it, these are the things that can happen, you know, when you're successful. But as you say, you want to be able to get enough rest, get enough sleep, enjoy where you are, enjoy the moment, because, you know, the destination is fantastic, but you really want to enjoy the journey along the way as well, so you can look back on it, you know, and have memories, good memories.
Yeah, it's your life, you know, and it's just, it can be, you know, the idea that this is, again, you know, one of the things that happens with artists is they get this kind of amazing vision, they get fixated about this vision, and they don't factor in the things that they do need to factor in, that can really trip them up later on, and it's really, really, really challenging and difficult for them.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, because, I mean, you have even created your own clothing line. I mean, you've done so much, as I said earlier. Can you tell me a bit more about that as well? Because that's another facet of business.
Yeah, no, that was, and you know, I did that in the late 80s. So that was it. It's an amazing clothing line. I love it. It was actually, I designed the clothing line for the artist that I was portraying, who's called Gerbina Joblotti, and she had dresses that were designed for special moments. I think if you look on my website, you'll see I'm wearing one of the dresses, which is called it's called Gerblotti's record contract signing dress, which is a pink lycra with a sort of floppy sort of record corsage. And then she had her cocktail drinking dress, which was a big plastic cocktail on the front of her dress. She had her mountain climbing dress, and which had a mountain on the front of the dress. So everything was themed for what she was actually going to go out and do.
Absolutely.
So
sounds amazing.
And I have still got the samples in a box. If any of you designers out there listening want to see them, then you know, get in touch, because I'd love to shake off the dust and you know, exhibit them.
Absolutely, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see these things, because this, obviously, the way you help artists already, or anything that will help people, and obviously it sparks other creatives as well, but it shows people that you can do so many different things under the umbrella of one, whether it's a persona or company, and you don't have to limit yourself.
No, you don't. But I think it's important, though, to be very, very clear about what you're doing. You know, it doesn't matter in what kind of manifestation you want to appear as, so long as the essence of you is really distilled and really clear. If you're trying to kind of, I call it trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. You know, if you're actually trying to appeal to a certain audience and give them what you think they want, rather than actually coming from what you really want, what's coming from the essence of who you really are, then you can get onto shaky ground. And I see it happen a lot, because, you know, I see a lot of artists who come and see me who're so talented, but as to really marketing themselves and actually presenting themselves, becoming visible, they can start to waver and start to get a little bit shaky about what they're trying to
yes
do.
because they're starting to get influenced by people telling them, no, do this, no, do it that way, do something else, you need to do this. And it is confusing. I mean, as I have to say, because this is why I wanted to speak to you, because I'm just fascinated by all the things you've done. And I'm thinking, well, I would ask you, wouldn't you agree, this probably makes you even more uniquely placed to advise up and coming artists, because isn't it, as the saying goes, only who feels it knows it. You have been through what those artists are about to go through trying to become successful.
Yes, and I do, what I want more than anything else is to save them a lot of pain. I mean, I think it's important. I don't think, I don't think it's you should never suffer. I don't agree with that at all. I think that it's important to go through the dips and the highs along the way. But there's so much that they needn't go through that I, can really share with them, because everybody's experience is different. I mean, they get some, to learn and to grow, we need to experience the kind of the pain. There is pain.
Yeah, but you're trying to minimize it. You want them to have as smooth as road as possible, don't you? Yeah,
because I want them to achieve a lot more, and so to get through the sort of early obstacles is really, really important. And once they get to the sort of the bigger picture, once they arrive at that, then they've got other bigger problems, which of course, I teach them how to welcome those problems rather than get sort of recoil back in fear. It's like almost like this is where my Buddhism comes in. Every challenge is an opportunity. So it's getting them to sort of really turn everything around so that they can see that it's okay. I've got this to deal with, but I feel supported and I'm going to get through it no matter what.
Fantastic. Thank you for saying that. People, you are listening to the Ask Avani Show. Please, I hope you are taking in what my special guest is saying today to help you everywhere, wherever you may be around the world. I mean, you have such experience and you are a fountain of knowledge because, you've been in the music industry and you've done all these different things. Can I ask you, is it hard to judge which artists could be a success when they first come to you?
It is hard because I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be so bold as to sort of say that people don't have a chance. I think that what I can say though is that I do know the people that I can work with, and they have to be. I can't work with everybody,
right?
Because some people just don't. Maybe we have to have a connection. So as to their success, I wish everybody success, absolutely everybody. But I also kind of ask them, I challenge them and say, what does success mean to you? Because it's a bit like, being broke, to some people, being down to their last £5 is being broke. Others, being down to their last 500,000 is being broke. It's all relative. So I do find out what success means to them. So that's and so that we can then get a sort of a measure of what they're wanting to achieve.
Absolutely. I mean, as we know, you have your agency now and you work with so many different artists. Can I ask you, when did you decide to start that side of your consultancy business?
Oh, it's so interesting that you asked that, because again, it's a bit like needing a house. So we started buying and selling houses. It's a bit like artists started coming to me and asking me how to solve their problems. And I thought, what, I'm doing so much of this. And at the time, I was doing some consultancy work for a lot of different charities, like the YMCA, the Peter Hahn Charitable Trust, trying to help them to work out where their money was going to go because they wanted to invest in services for musicians. And but that was kind of drying up because the money didn't seem to be quite so available. And I started to move into this area of helping artists. And I thought, there's a lot in this and I can give them so much help. And so it kind of it went from there.
So it's been an evolution. Yeah, I love it. We love that. I mean, can you tell me more about the artist program that you've devised? Because you use that to consult, advise and work with artists and musicians. And this is what's going to help them to understand and navigate the music and entertainment industry, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I can. And actually, I'm going to tell you a little story around it if we've got time. Have we got time?
Oh, please. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Is that what I started to see that there were some patterns emerging with artists that were coming to see me. I started to see that they all kind of suffered from similar problems. Now, if it was to do with getting what we talked about already, getting them to distill their essence, to really understand who they are, I realized that there was an element about their personality that we needed to get really draw out, to really to test and measure who they really are, you know. So that's one of the elements that I started to focus in on, what we call the Powerful Artist Program. And so there are actually 5 elements. You've probably seen them on my website. The 5 elements are personality, practice, purpose, parties, which is team. to make an alliteration with the P's, and process. So I could really come up with the different areas to focus on, so that it could be more kind of the approach to this could be less businessy and more kind of logical and rational. Because despite musicians being very, very left brain, they do like things making sense.
Obviously, yeah, absolutely.
So I work around those 5 areas and focus in on the particular areas. I've got a diagnostic tool that actually helps artists to find out for themselves when they have to answer the questions what they do know, what they don't know.
Right.
Very good way. So a lot of testing and measuring here. Oh, and I was going to tell you the story about how I got into all of this. I basically got into all of this because I went and did an amazing course on public speaking, because I thought, even though I could, stand up and perform on stage, talk about me was really quite a challenging thing.
Right.
And so, when I went on this amazing course, I actually learned that they taught me also how to, if I was going to talk about something, then I was going to have to talk about what I did in a way that would keep people's interest up.
Right.
So that's what I learned. So going back to the elements, I have the 5 elements, and they are designed. These particular elements are designed to go deeper into the relevant aspects of the artist, whether it's their career, their vision for their career, how they're kind of communicating and collaborating with other people. Kind of are they wanting to have a career just coming straight out of their bedroom from making all their tunes, putting out all their tracks? What's their pathway? We kind of work with them. It's quite a deep process. It's something that they did to a certain extent in the sort of 60s and 70s, when a lot of money was being spent on artist development. Of course, these days we don't have that.
Yes.
Record labels, big record labels particularly, they really are sort of big distribution outlets, and they also they don't make their money from CD sales, as we know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's fantastic, because the way you work, this is why I love it, because the way you work with each artist, it's an individual thing, and it will be tailored to that artist, and that is where they'll get the most benefit out of it, because you're not trying to sort of have like an assembly line of artists that are all the same and telling them to do exactly the same things, because what works for one may not work for another. Yeah,
we can't do cookie cutter here. It's not possible, because then and I wouldn't want to do it to them. But mind you, I mean, we're developing an online platform now, which again, it has that. It does have a way of individualizing, whatever that word is, for artists. But what it does is it gives them the questions and some of the answers, and they can then form their own ideas and opinions and trajectory about where they want to go.
Absolutely.
And support that along the way. I mean, my job is not to tell artists what to do. My job is to get out of them, to get them to tell me, so that I can tell it to them back, so that they can see where they're going with their careers.
Absolutely. I love that. I mean, the reason why I feel your artist program is going to be so